So how much does it really cost every month to live in Dubai? Happy New Year and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I moved to Dubai last summer with my family from the UK, and we've been in Dubai for 5 months now, which means we have a pretty good idea of our average spending month to month. Since moving, I've been getting so many questions about the real cost of living here and how much it costs to maintain a similar standard of living to what we're used to in the UK. So I'm sharing all of the details in this video. But just before I get into it, I do want to add that the numbers I share in this video are the numbers that work for my family and I. I know that it's very much possible to live in Dubai with far less and equally far more, but this is what we spend on average every month on typical expenses. So without further ado, let's get into it. Just for context, I moved to Dubai in August 2023 and I went back into teaching, and my husband works in the tech industry. More about that in another video about why I moved back into teaching, but we do also have a 2-year-old daughter, so hopefully this gives those of you who are seriously considering moving to Dubai a full picture of the reality of how much it costs to live here. Let's first cover our housing costs. It's no secret that Dubai is an increasingly popular destination for expats, and because of this, Dubai is facing a rental spike, meaning rents are much higher than they used to be. However, as a teacher, we are fortunate to live in a 2-bedroom apartment where the rental cost is actually covered by my employer. So our monthly housing expense is actually zero. But if you were to source a 2-bedroom apartment of your own, similar in terms of size and location to what we have, it will cost you somewhere in the region of 85,000 dirhams. In Dubai, rent is actually paid using checks, typically 1, 2, or 4 checks, which means that your annual rent is divided by the number of checks that you agree with your landlord. So for example, if you agreed 4 checks, you would obviously make 4 payments of 21,250 dirhams over the course of the year. But for the sake of this video, I'll split the annual rental cost monthly, which would give us a monthly rent of 7,083 dirhams, which is roughly 1,550 pounds per month. So moving on to household bills, utilities in Dubai is run through one central app called Dubai Now. So you can pay for all of your utilities and your internet all through this app, and obviously in typical Dubai fashion, it's all very slick, all very easy and convenient. There is actually only one provider of water and electricity here, which is called DEWA. It stands for Dubai Electricity and Water Authority, so they have a monopoly power over the pricing. However, for a 2-bedroom apartment, our monthly DEWA bill on average is around 350 to 400 dirhams, and this is paid per month. We also live in what they call a chiller-free accommodation, which means that there isn't a separate bill for AC. Instead, we pay for the electricity that is actually used to run the AC unit. So we are expecting our DEWA bill to be slightly cheaper in the cooler months. However, it is worth noting that when you are renting a property in Dubai, included in your DEWA bill will be something called municipality fees, which is equivalent to council tax in the UK. These fees are 5% of your annual rental cost. So based on monthly rent of 85,000 dirhams, your municipality fees works out to be 355 dirhams per month. But as my employer provides accommodation for us, this means that they also cover the municipality fees. So we are only liable for the usage cost of electricity and water. Our gas bill is paid quarterly, and our last gas bill totaled 297 dirhams, which works out to be roughly 99 dirhams per month. For context, we do cook most days of the week, so if you don't cook as much or you plan to eat out a little bit more, then you can expect your gas bill to be lower. With our internet, we pay 285 dirhams per month, and there were no setup costs involved when we did set up our internet. So this brings our grand total for household bills currently at 1,139 dirhams, which is approximately 250 pounds. Okay, so groceries is probably the biggest monthly expense for us as a family of 3. And whilst there are some items that are cheaper than in the UK, generally our grocery shopping is more expensive than what we would normally spend back home in the UK. So every month we do budget 4,000 dirhams for food, but it is worth noting that we do have home cooked meals pretty much 6 out of the 7 days a week, and we all take a packed breakfast and lunch to work and nursery during the working week. When we lived in the UK, we didn't have to worry about food for our daughter when she went to nursery because that was covered by her nursery, but that isn't included here. More on that later. We are also still in a period of transition in terms of switching over brands to more local ones. And obviously, as a lot of food here is imported, we do pay a slight premium for the brands that are familiar to us. So eventually we do expect this to go down the longer that we're here. Also, as part of our grocery budget is a monthly subscription to Wisewell, which is 150 dirhams, and Wisewell is our water filter and dispensing system. So instead of buying bottled water, we fill up our Wisewell tank and it filters and cleans the water, and it just generates boiling, cold and room temperature water for us. School fees. Okay, so as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I moved to Dubai as a teacher, which fortunately means that my daughter is able to attend nursery for free. So we don't actually pay tuition fees, and realistically without this, we would be paying a hefty amount in fees. I will probably do a separate video in this, but the way the school and nursery system works in Dubai is very, very different to what I'm used to back home in the UK, which does mean that even though tuition fees are covered by my employer, we still have to pay other nursery related fees. However, because I am a member of staff, these fees are very heavily discounted. So for the sake of this video, I will assume that you are paying for the full amount with no discounts, and a nursery place 5 days a week from 7 AM to 5 PM with no additional extracurricular activities such as gymnastics and ballet or food is actually approximately 17,000 dirhams per year. Obviously, this cost varies heavily based on the rating, the ranking, and the type of school, as well as the age of your child. But just to give you an idea, a primary school place at a premium school is in the region of 40 to 60,000 dirhams per year, and a secondary school place all the way up to sixth form can cost between 70 to 100,000 dirhams per year per child, and obviously the older they get, the fees increase. So despite this free tuition that we do get, we approximately pay 580 dirhams per month for what they call aftercare here, and that is from 1 PM to 4 PM, and around 350 dirhams for one extracurricular activity such as gymnastics. Again, also worth noting that these fees are paid termly and they are due up front, but I've just broken it down into a monthly cost for the sake of this video. So, car payments and running costs. If you've seen one of my first vlogs on my channel, you'll know that we recently collected our new car, and while the cost of petrol here in Dubai is ridiculously cheap, the cost of cars, and in particular car rentals, is so expensive. So it was really a no-brainer for us to get our own car that we could eventually own at the end of the term. So our monthly car payment is 2,700 dirhams. And just to give you an idea of how much this would cost as a rental, the cheapest car rental for a similar SUV in terms of size is around 3,900 dirhams. So it obviously made sense for us to get our own car here. We do also budget 750 dirhams a month for petrol and salik, which is toll fees, and is only charged for the most part when you drive on the main road here in Dubai, which is Sheikh Zayed Road. Our weekly spend on petrol on average is between 120 and 150 dirhams because I drive every day to work, and most weekends we are out and about. Salik fees, however, they vary depending on where we go on the weekend, but the most we have ever had to pay in a month has been 84 dirhams, and that was over the 3-week winter break that just went, because we were obviously out and about, gallivanting and exploring around Dubai. So both my husband and I have a membership to something called Privily, which is basically a monthly fee that we pay that allows us to have access to the best beach clubs, gyms, fitness classes across the whole of the UAE. And because of Privily, on weekends we can go to the best 5-star hotels on the Palm or the Marina, for example, and we can spend the day by the pool for free. The membership also includes discounts at restaurants, hotels, or hotspots in Dubai, and it means that we can also bring guests with us. So, for example, when friends and family come and visit, we get to bring them with us and they get preferential entry rates and get to experience the Dubai life. This costs us 1,258 dirhams per month for a couple's membership. We do also have something called the Entertainer, which is similar, but the offers on there are all buy one, get one free, and they're at more casual restaurants like Nando's and tourist and child-friendly spots like the Dubai Aquarium and afternoon tea at the Burj Khalifa. This, however, is only a one-time annual payment of 595 dirhams, so I'm not going to include it in the monthly budget calculation. More on that towards the end of the video. We also spend 80 dirhams a month on other monthly memberships such as Amazon Prime, Spotify, and YouTube Premium. There is no way we would have ever moved to Dubai without being able to bring our dog Yogi with us, so he is here and is obviously something that we need to budget for every month. We get Yogi's food from a raw food supplier called Fairchild. Highly recommend them, by the way. And his food comes like clockwork every month. So we budget 800 dirhams, which covers all of his food. Another thing that we budget for every month is domestic help, which is a controversial topic, but because of the savings that we make in other areas, it means that we're actually able to have some help at home. So we have a lovely lady who comes to help us on Monday to Friday, and her main role is to keep the house clean and tidy. She washes clothes and she does cook once a week and does the occasional babysitting for us in the evenings. The biggest help is that she is home when my daughter and I get home from work. So the stress and the burden of having to cook and sort out lunch from the day and repack lunch for the day after is completely alleviated, and I know that my mums out there will really understand how much of a huge help this is. We pay her 3,000 dirhams a month, which is in line for the going rate of other housekeepers here in Dubai, and she is literally worth every penny. I also wanted to add some additional information to give you a very realistic picture of the cost of living here in Dubai. There are some things that are not paid monthly simply because they have to be paid upfront, and so I haven't included them in this monthly budget. An example of this would be for our phone lines. So when we got to Dubai, as soon as we landed, we had to get SIM cards, and here you do get a 50% discount if you pay for everything upfront. So it was a no-brainer for us. We ended up paying 1,436 dirhams each for the year for 20 gigs of data, 100 local minutes, and 50 international minutes per month. Another thing that you pay for upfront is car insurance. Again, no such thing as monthly payments here for car insurance. And the cost of this for us was 4,700 dirhams, which obviously depends on how long you've had your UAE driving license for. And for us, it was like 2 months, and obviously depends on the value of the car. So we are expecting this to go down. However, if you do rent a car here in Dubai, you obviously won't have this cost because you'll pay one lump sum, which includes the car rental fee as well as the insurance. And finally, health insurance is obviously paid for upfront. There is no such thing as NHS here. And as both my husband and I have jobs here, it's actually UAE law that your employer must provide you with health insurance, meaning they pay for it. However, we did have to pay for my daughter's health insurance. Thankfully, we are in a position for her to be able to access the best hospitals in Dubai, which meant that we had to pay 4,600 dirhams for her health insurance. If we had opted for a different group of hospitals, we likely could have got this amount down. So to summarize, our actual monthly grand total, not including a monthly saving of all of the things that we've had to pay for upfront for the year, as well as all of the things that we get for free, such as housing and tuition fees, our monthly expense on our budget sheet is 14,657 dirhams. But if we were to include the monthly cost of housing and tuition fees, as well as a monthly saving towards all of the things that we have had to pay for upfront, our monthly budget would actually be 24,103 dirhams. I will add a link in the description box for a Google Sheet, which is a template of the budget that my husband and I use, and it will be pre-populated with all of the expenses that we have, as well as the numbers, so you can have a play around. Obviously, coming to Dubai as a teacher is such a huge life hack in that the two of your biggest expenses, which is housing and childcare, is completely alleviated and will then compensate for the increase in other areas like groceries. So just to summarize, whilst there are some things that are significantly more expensive here in Dubai, both my husband and I agree that the quality of life here is 100 times better than what we had in the UK, and we do have more disposable income to use as we wish. Another thing that we found is that Dubai can actually be as cheap or as expensive as you choose for it to be. And I know some of you are probably thinking, well, I went to Dubai on holiday and I spent a whole bag. But just remember, your experience here is always going to be different when you are traveling or on holiday versus when you actually live somewhere. So I do hope that this video was insightful and useful, particularly for anyone who is seriously considering moving to Dubai. If there is anything that I didn't cover that you want more information on, please just drop me a comment and I will do my best to get back to you. I am also relaunching my newsletter, so if you do want weekly updates of our life here in Dubai, the link to sign up will be in the description box below. Thank you again for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you're notified of my next video upload. See you guys soon. Bye.